Have you ever pondered the true value of democracy and freedom? These two pillars shape societies, fuel progress, and inspire hope. They are the lifeblood of modern civilization, the beacon that guides us towards a better future. Without them, the world would be a place of darkness and despair. Now, let's turn the pages of history and revisit the year 1989. A testament to the human spirit's resolve for democracy and freedom, we find ourselves in Beijing, at the heart of a momentous event. This takes us back to Beijing, 1989, the Tiananmen Square. In the spring of 1989, a spark ignited a flame in the heart of Beijing. The sudden death of Hu Yaobang, a key figure in China's political landscape and a staunch pro-reform leader, caused a ripple of discontent that soon grew into a wave of protest. Hu had been a beacon of hope for many who yearned for political reform and greater freedoms. His passing was the catalyst that brought thousands of students to gather peacefully at Tiananmen Square. These young minds, full of ideas and dreams for a better future, were united by a common cause. They called for dialogue, they demanded change. Their voices echoed in the vast expanse of the square, their placards painting a picture of their aspirations for democracy and freedom. They were peaceful, they were determined, they were hopeful. However, the peaceful demonstrations were not met with understanding, but with force. On June 3rd, the Chinese government decided to take a stance that would forever be etched in the annals of history as one of the most violent responses to a peaceful protest. The government, refusing to acknowledge the demands of the people, chose to respond with military force. The peaceful streets of Beijing were transformed into a war zone overnight. Armored tanks rolled into Tiananmen Square, and soldiers armed with rifles advanced on the protesters. The air was filled with the sound of gunfire and the desperate pleas of the unarmed protesters. Casualties were inevitable. While the exact number remains a mystery, estimates range from several hundreds to thousands. The world watched in horror as the violent crackdown unfolded. Global leaders condemned the Chinese government's actions, calling for an end to the violence and respect for human rights. Yet, despite the international outcry, the Chinese government remained unyielding. They defended their actions, claiming it was necessary to maintain social stability and order. Following the crackdown, a media blackout was enforced. The government controlled the narrative, ensuring that the events at Tiananmen Square were buried under a blanket of silence. Many Chinese citizens today remain unaware of the sacrifices made by their fellow countrymen on that fateful summer of 1989. The Tiananmen Square protests, a poignant reminder of the lengths people will go to fight for democracy and freedom.